Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Clayton. I just got back from seeing The Mummy. Now, the interesting thing about this movie is that it's supposed to be the first movie in what's going to be a series of films based on the Universal monsters, in a way for the Universal Studios to copy the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Unfortunately, when it comes to this movie, it's not a very good beginning for this universe, as it's a pretty poorly made movie with terrible acting, bad special effects, and a story that's been done a million times with nothing new added to the formula. It has one interesting character that it barely focuses on, which is pretty bad considering that character is the title character of the film. But let's get down to it, shall we? The movie stars Tom Cruise as Nick Morton, who's a soldier of fortune, who ends up finding the tomb of Princess Amenet, played by Sofia Boutella, in the Middle East while he's there with his army pals. Once he unearths Princess Amenet, she ends up unleashing hell on this world as she tries to resurrect the god Set, the Egyptian god Set, and he ends up working with Annabelle Wallis, who plays a doctor named Jenny, as the two of them have to defeat Princess Amenet and save the city of London. All the while, Russell Crowe appears as a man named Dr. Henry Jekyll, you get it, who mainly acts as an exposition device. So yeah, the film tries to allude to various things that might occur in the future universe, which, much like the Batman vs. Superman, it feels like they're trying to jam in a lot of things at once. They throw in some Easter eggs from Jekyll and Hyde, Black Lagoon, Dracula, and a bunch of other monsters. When in my opinion, just focusing on the Mummy story would have been more than enough. It doesn't help that the script is very weak. It's not very funny, and it often gives a lot of the characters nothing interesting to say. In my opinion, you can have the best actors in the world, but if the script does not work, it's not going to be good for them. And even though Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, Sofia Boutella, and Annabelle Wallis try their best, they can't get past the poor script. It also doesn't help that the special effects are pretty cheesy and pretty fake looking, even for a Universal movie. Not that the Mummy movies from the Brendan Fraser films were that good, but you could at least excuse them for being products of the time. This is 2017, and the effects look pretty fake even by those standards. Another thing that doesn't really work in this movie is the fact that Sofia Boutella's character, Princess Amenet, is actually pretty interesting. For the little backstory that she gets at the beginning of the film, you can tell that there's a lot going through her mind, and she's a little more than your typical Hollywood villain. Unfortunately, she's only given about 20 minutes of screen time because, like I said, this movie's trying to build this dark universe that Universal's going for, when really it should have focused on telling this one story through and through. The reason that Iron Man worked wasn't because it was also a prequel to the Avengers or the retelling of a really important Iron Man story. It's because it focused on the Iron Man origin story, and it kept it focused through the entire film. And it just had a brief glimpse of the larger cinematic universe at the post-credit scene. Here, there is no post-credit scene, and they try throughout the majority of the film to build this interesting mythos, when really the mythos is not interesting in the slightest. I'll give credit where credit is due. Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, and Sofia Boutella are clearly trying their hardest, but overall, it seems like this universe is going to have to stay buried, in a figure of speech. The Mummy is not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination, and it can safely be skipped. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. You're probably going to forget it even if you do see it. See you next time.